going into an 860-pound Harley-Davidson motorcycle was an eye-opening experience. To be honest with you, I was kind of overwhelmed by the weight of that motorcycle.
Back down like my mule, roads clear, tank full, kick back with my feet up. I twist back and I speed up. Left lane, pipes full, move fast but it's got more. Clear skies. Thank you, Lord, I'm gliding. Perfect day for riding. 500 in front of me and I'm right here where I wanna be. It's a beautiful day and I thank God for it all. I'm traveling tall.
Alright guys, it is a beautiful day today and I'm out here on this motorcycle. I'm riding my 2023 Harley-Davidson Road Glide with the Zippers Performance 124 Sport Touring Kit on it. Now, I wasn't planning on making a video. This is what happened. I woke up this morning, started the truck, said I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. Walked past the motorcycle, like, you know, it's a nice day. Why don't I take the motorcycle to go get some breakfast? 2 hours later, I still haven't got any breakfast, and I'm about 75 miles down the road from home. That's how it is when you have a motorcycle. Sometimes you just get out. You think you just want to go for a quick rip, but then it starts feeling good, and, you know, I had to go. I just, literally, I turned around about 5 miles back because I had to go get gas because the gas light came on, but now I'm on my way back to Knoxville, and I decided to take the back roads home. So guys, you're gonna be with me on this ride today. All right, now, but if this is your first time coming to the channel, my name is Tall, and this is YouTube channel Traveling Tall. And I didn't have a subject for this video, but now I'm gonna talk about something. I'm going to talk about motorcycles. I'm going to talk about first bikes and my experience with my first Harley-Davidson. Now, I'm going to give you a brief history on how long I've been riding. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 9 years, maybe 9 years old, something like that. I've been on two wheels. I was born on a Harley-Davidson because my mom and dad had Harleys back in the 60s. And my dad started riding Harleys from his uncle who had Harleys back in the 40s or the 50s. So we've been on Harleys forever. I've been on Harleys as long as I've been born. And my brother and my sister, they ride Harleys. My cousins, my uncles, everybody in my family, in-laws, they all ride Harleys. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you a picture of all of our bikes. Well, not even all our bikes. None of my bikes was in this picture. But at Run to the Hills, oh yeah, woo, what a thing. At Run to the Hills, I was at home getting ready, and they were going on a ride, so I couldn't go that day. Come on now. I couldn't go that day, but you'll see all the bikes that they have out there on the road, all of them getting ready to go on their ride. And every one of them bikes, every one, is my family members' bikes, not including my bikes. And my cousin's Harley was not in there neither. So yeah, it would have been a whole lot more than that. All of these Harleys are my family's Harleys. So I am partial to Harley-Davidson, but we're going to talk about all of this other stuff before we even get to Harleys. I'm going to tell you my history. So I started out years ago. My parents bought me a little scooter. It was a little Honda scooter. Got my brother one, got me one. Back in the 80s, that was kind of like a thing. You had scooters. I wanted a dirt bike, no lie, but I got a scooter, and that's how my love of two wheels came in on a little Honda. It's funny. I'm going to fast forward a little bit through some of the other stuff. But then, as an adult, my first bike was a GSXR 750. Yellow and black, and it had chrome wheels on it. That bike was a beautiful motorcycle, and that's kind of where I learned Where are you turning off to right here? Oh, okay, up a gravel driveway. That's kind of why I learned really how to handle a bike on the road. After the 750, I got another 750. After that 750, I got an 1000. And so I was always about Suzuki's. Went a long stint without having a motorcycle, and after that, my whole family was going on trips, riding motorcycles, and they were leaving me at home, or I would follow them in the car. And I was like, you know what? Nah, that's not gonna happen. So I bought a Harley. Oh, I skipped a whole bunch because I used to go to Daytona on those sport bikes. Everybody had Harleys, and I went to Daytona on sport bikes, and it just wasn't the same, right? I mean, it was cool, but when you go down to Bethune-Cookman Boulevard and you see everybody out there with them Harleys, a sport bike ain't gonna get it for you. Sport bikes are fun, no doubt. I like curvy roads, I like the dragon, I like all of that stuff. But when I got a Harley, it changed everything. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not completely talking about my experience on a motorcycle. I'm going to give you some advice for you when you're looking for another motorcycle, a new motorcycle, or you're a new motorcycle rider. So, coming off a sport bike, a 1,000-pound sport bike, going into a 860-pound Harley-Davidson motorcycle was an eye-opening experience. To be honest with you, I was kind of overwhelmed by the weight of that motorcycle. I remember coming down the highway after purchasing it, and I didn't want to stop because, you know, once you're rolling, you know, motorcycle will stand itself up. When I stopped, and that was a twin cam, that whole thing was shaking and vibrating and everything else, and the weight of that motorcycle, I was just like, don't drop it. That was my biggest deal. I was like, I didn't want to drop it because it was so heavy. And not to mention, when I got home, after my wife followed me, I was like, okay, well, I got the bike now. You might as well get on the back and let's try it. After being on the bike 10 minutes, she gets on the back of the motorcycle, and man, she had a hold on me like a death grip. She had her hands around me like that, right? And she needed to, because I was scared, she was scared, and it definitely wasn't a smart idea for her to get on the back. Ooh, look at this curve right here, boy, I tell you what. Smart idea to get on the back of the motorcycle and ride with me at that point, because I was not ready to have a passenger on the back of the motorcycle. However, after that, I rode the bike. Next week, I went on a trip with Leonard. Me and Leonard went to the Outer Banks. My dad, my uncle, my cousins, we all we left Knoxville, went to Fayetteville, North Carolina, not the Outer Banks. We went to Wilmington and caught the ferry over to Wilmington. And my first experience, they need to cut these trees. My first experience on the highway, I was in love. I said, yeah, this is it. You know, I was used to being on that 1,000 and couldn't really stay on it more than a couple miles. Like 150-mile day was a long day on that 1,000. But now, wow. Thank you, Lord. Man, okay. Right in a blind curve too. Y'all see that? That's why you have to be looking ahead. There we go. Jeez Louise. I mean, he has no choice. I guess that's the way he has to get in there. But anyway, so having that 1,000 and then coming to a sport bike, the weight was an issue. But after having the street glide and riding it for about, you know, taking that road trip and riding around town, that's when I really got acclimated to the weight of that motorcycle and learned that motorcycle. And that's why I tell you guys, I know I'm skipping ahead, but that's why I always tell you guys, the best way to learn your motorcycle is to ride your motorcycle. And so that was the thing that really got me, knowing my bike, knowing the balance point on my bike, knowing how far I can lean it over, knowing how when I come to a red light or come to a stop sign that I need to make sure that I have that big 900-pound bike Woo, boy, that big 900-pound bike. All right, leaning over. Hold on, guys. Okay. That big 900-pound bike, straight up and down, because you don't want to come to a stop sign with that thing off balance or with your front wheel turned. Those are things that I had to learn from riding motorcycles, from riding that motorcycle, you know, and that's the things that I'm trying to tell you guys. Now, I know I'm getting to first bike, good first bike, or whatever else that I said when I started this video. I've kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm still just talking and rambling. But so when I took that road trip, I learned how to manage that motorcycle. I learned that to keep it up straight when I come to a stop. I learned to prepare when I'm going up a hill or stopping somewhere where it's off cambered. You learn these things. You know where the weight is. You know how far you can lean it over to one side or the next. I'm talking about when stop, before you start feeling the whole effect of that 800, 900-pound motorcycle. So now the reason why I'm telling you all this is to tell you this. I've had people who bought motorcycles and they went out and bought the motorcycle that they wanted instead of buying a practice motorcycle or a beginner motorcycle. And I'm not against that. I know some people are like, well, you should start on a beginner motorcycle before you get on your regular motorcycle, the one that you want. You can do that. You can. Okay? And there's a few things that I recommend. You know, a Shadow 600. A Shadow 750. I know those are Hondas. Let me think. I don't know what else it would be. Like smaller cruisers. Something that you don't have more than about $3,500 in. Because believe me, you're not going to keep it. If you buy something like a 600 or whatever, you think you're going to be going touring on the road, you're not. A 600 or something like that, maybe I think Vulcan Kawasaki makes something like that. That's something that you're going to start out with. And in about 3 months, you're going to want something more. Now, again, I'm not against you just going straight to the big bike. But if you want to do that where you start out at the smaller bike, buy it used so you can sell it, trade it, or whatever else, and you don't lose a whole lot of money, because you will want something bigger. Those bikes can go on the highway, but they're not good for going on the highway. But I was telling you about people, well, it's been more than one person, who bought a bike, their bike that they really wanted. They didn't go to the beginner bike. They went up and straight bought the bike that they wanted. So let me explain to you. When you do that, you need to get familiar with that motorcycle by riding it. I know you should have taken the course or whatever, and you need to know how to work the motorcycle, how to shift, how to downshift. You need to go to the parking lot to learn how to emergency brake and how to maneuver around objects in the road. But that's it. That's it right there at the parking lot. And this is what I want to say so far about that. That's what you need to learn in the beginning in the parking lot. You can go back later and learn your slow maneuvering skills, your advanced skills in the parking lot, like doing U-turns and all that stuff. Because I'm going to say this, and it might be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can ride across country back and forth 1,000 times and never once learn how to do a U-turn where you're scraping your floorboards. That is a skill that is, let's see, that's good to know how to make a U-turn. It's good to know how to turn your bike around in a very tight environment. But you can walk your bike around, you can back your bike around, you can do a 3-point turn and still ride your motorcycle across country without ever learning those skills. What I think is most important for anybody who's riding a motorcycle is to spend time on that bike. And your parking lot training on that motorcycle should be things like avoiding obstacles, swerving around obstacles, and that also helps you learn how to throw the bike around too. And hard braking, emergency braking. Because I promise you, the biggest thing that I see people drop their bike is when they panic, they hit that front brake, that 800, 900 pound Harley goes straight to the pavement on them because they panic and they hit that front brake, and then the front brake locks up and that tire turns, they're going down. That's why it's important to do emergency braking drills in the parking lot. Get up to about 20, 30 miles per hour and slam on the brake to see how quickly you can slow down. And what I mean by slamming on the brake, like Harleys, they have link brakes above 20 miles per hour, but this is how I brake, even though it has link brakes, I'm hitting the back brake, then I'm hitting the front brake, because the front brake has all your, most of your stopping power, but I'm slowing it down with that back brake. I'm making sure that I got the bike headed in the right direction, the bike's up, you know what I mean? And then I'm hitting that front brake. You'll feel a little dip in that front brake and you'll slow down a whole lot quicker. That's important to learn those things. And obstacle avoidance. Put you some cones out there, put you something out there and just learn to swerve around it, or just go in a straight line and wave your bike from side to side. That kind of helps you learn the body English of maneuvering your bike even in the corners, like, just going from side to side. If you do things like that, you'll be better prepared. I should just go straight, shouldn't I? No, I'm gonna get on interstate. But if you do things like that, you'll be better prepared for riding. And then after that, well, there's one more thing. Let me say this. Oh, thank you, buddy. There's one more thing. That thing will run, boy. I tell you what, it'll run. So after that, I think a great exercise, which I'm on the bike, I can't do it right now, but you'll know what I'm talking about visually. A great exercise is to sit on your motorcycle with the motorcycle off. Sit on your bike, both feet on the ground. Lean your bike over to the left a little bit, to the point that it gets a little heavy, but not to the point where you can't hold it up. Lean it back up straight. Lean your bike over to the right a little bit, to the point that it gets heavy, but not to the point that you can't hold it up. And then go a little bit further. Keep going a little bit further. Never to the point that you can't hold it up. That will let you know how far you can lean that motorcycle up when you come to a stop. It's important for you to know how to balance your motorcycle. You're not going to be able to balance your bike. Well, I'm at stoplight now. Like if I lean it over here, lean it over there, I still can handle it. But when that thing starts getting super heavy, oh, there's some bikes. I'm gonna catch them if I can get on the interstate soon enough. When you get that thing leaned over a little bit too far, that bike's going down, and you don't want that. I don't know if I can catch them because I'm stopped at the red light here. You definitely don't want that. So that exercise is kind of like where you're just learning the balance point of your bike and when your bike starts to get heavy. Another thing is, I don't stop with the rear brake. I don't do that. I stop with both feet on the ground, and I'm always right now have my clutch pulled in, and I got my hand on the front brake. I do that. I keep it on there and I keep it ready. Now I know people say you put your foot up and all that type of stuff, but for me, what works, I'm just telling you guys what works for me. I always will put my, here we go. I always will put my feet on the ground, because for me that's the best way to balance this bike. Now there's times that I will have to have, let's go. There's times that I will have to keep the rear brake on, like if you're on a hill. So you should practice that too. Those are things that you should practice. You shouldn't just learn how to do things one way, because if you only learn how to do it one way, there's different scenarios that's going to come up on you while you're riding the motorcycle, and you want to make sure that you practice these things before they actually happen. Now let's get back to the road trips, where I said how I learned my motorcycle on a road trip. Honestly, I think that is the best way to learn a bike. Every new motorcycle that I've had since that point, I take a road trip. I've been on this motorcycle across country, 2-up with my wife. It really comes into play when you have your tour pack on the back, you have an extra person on the back, you have all your bags. You want to make sure that you are coming up to a red light or stop sign with the bike balanced. But these are things that can help a new rider, somebody who's trying to learn how to ride a motorcycle. You bought the Harley, and now, it might have been a little bit overwhelming for you. These are things that can help you. I'm trying to tell you things that can help you. Believe me, I have a whole lot more tips and secrets that I could help you with, but I don't want to tell you now. I'm trying to tell you the basics of what you should be doing when you first get a motorcycle. The worst thing for you to do is to buy the bike, ride the bike around the neighborhood, ride the bike around the parking lot, and think you have done something. Go to the parking lot, go to the neighborhood or whatever, ride it, get familiar with the controls, familiar with the bike. Then on a Sunday morning or somewhere where there's not a lot of traffic, some country road, some back road, some highway, like a old country highway. In Tennessee, we got like 4-lane highways here. Well, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. And some of them are not that busy, especially on Sunday. That's a good way to get out and just put some miles on your bike. That's how you learn your motorcycle. That's how you become a better rider, which I shouldn't be talking about being a better rider now. If you've been just watching the video, I'm not being a good example of being a better rider. So guys, that's really it. I don't know if I really answered that question about the best first bike. I kind of feel like I was, well, let me be a little bit more direct in answering it. I got the bike, direct in answering it. If you want to get the bike that you want to get, your real bike, the one that you want, you'll be more than okay with it if you take the time to learn that bike. And how you learn that bike is putting time in on the bike. It's not the time to get on that motorcycle and ride 5 miles down the road to the bike night and think you're learning that bike. Get you some seat time. Spend an hour on it. I mean, an hour of riding it one way, then turn around and come back another hour. Get you some seat time. That's how you learn your bike. That's how I did it. That's how, it works for me. And I'd be a hypocrite if I told you any other way. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. Again, I've been across this country on a street glide, on a road glide 2-up, and on an Indian. So I've done it a couple times, and it's what works for me. I couldn't tell you anything else. Other people have different experiences, but when it comes to getting out, putting miles on bikes, I've done 1,000 miles a day, done more than 1,000 miles a day. I've done 2,000 miles in 2 days. I've went 2-up, 7,000 mile trip. I went across country completely in 2.5 days. Rode in the rain, rode in the snow, rode in the hail. And that's how I learned my motorcycle, getting out riding. If you like this video, let me know. I'll make more of it. And if you'd like to know how to ride in the rain, oh, I got a great video. I can make a great video about that. Alright guys, so I want to thank you for watching. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. Thank you for riding with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell to be notified. I got something cool coming your way. If you like adventure, oh, I'm about to take you on an adventure. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Keep gliding. And as always, have a blessed day.